saving enough for the cold run sail downtown. Test driving the motor, she was reading the line. On the floor, hugs the road, designated drive.
Hello, and welcome to the first episode of Chatting with the Chamber. I'm Carl Curtis, the Executive Director of the Verona Area Chamber of Commerce. And with each episode, I'm going to introduce you to 3 chamber members and their businesses. Our first interview is with Jason Parks of Complete Autoglass. Hello, Jason, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Carl.
Jason, why don't we start by having you tell me a little bit about your business and how you came to Verona?
Actually, it's an interesting story. I've been in business, or I've been doing Autoglass for 17 years. We've been in business for 9 years. How I got into the business was I was working at Land's End. One night it came out, someone broke into my truck, and another glass competitor came out, fixed the window. Looked like an interesting job. I watched him do it. I said, I could probably do that. He said, why don't you go apply? So I did. Thus, 17 years later, we're still doing it. 9 years ago, I had just turned 30. My second child was just born. And I said to my wife, I said, I really would just like to do this for myself. It's a rewarding job when you finish a vehicle and the customer's happy. And I said, I would just really like to do it for myself. And with her business background, it seemed like a good idea. So thus, it's been 9 years, and we've been happy with it.
Well, great. And what prompted you to open the business right here in Verona?
To be honest with you, we wanted the Verona location. We live in Barneville. One of our technicians lives on the west side of Madison. Madison is a large portion of our work, and I, like I said, live in Barneville, so I cover a lot of the Dodgeville area, and our other technician, Dean, he covers Madison, Sun Prairie. He also has been in the business for 17 years. We've worked together the entire time. And we have another technician that does mobile repairs. So Verona is a good central location. It's very business friendly. We found in looking at some other towns, as far as small business goes, Verona was very receptive to a small business. So we like that. And it's just like a good central location for our territory we cover.
Okay. And when you do service both here in your shop and you go out on the road and fix things in parking lots. And tell me a little bit what that's like.
Yep. The actual urethane itself is the same glue that the vehicles come with from the factory when they're manufactured. And it will set up from 0 degrees to 110 degrees. So mobile service, in all honesty, we'll go into maybe the 20s. We prefer to be above freezing just so the chemicals and everything, I feel more comfortable being above freezing. But we do probably 70 to 80% of the work is mobile. We come right to the home, right to the work. But on obviously extreme weather days, we're in here like we are today, working inside the shop.
Now, is there a busy season for the Autoglass, or is it just kind of year-round road hazards pop up?
I would say 2 busy seasons. The first is in the summer. School gets out, everyone's going on their family vacation. There's construction, so there's always, as many know, that Travel PB the last 2 summers, that chip sealing produced a lot of business for us. Unfortunate for the customers, but some of those chip sealing projects really produce a lot of business. The second busy season would be when it first gets cold in the fall. People have been traveling all summer and got chips and dings in their window, and if they haven't gotten them fixed, those there can turn into cracks, and then once you get that first really good cold snap, that gives a lot of business as well.
Right. Now, most of us have seen television commercials, but tell me, how does a small chip turn into a big crack?
Sure. Your windshield is actually made of 3 layers. There's a layer of glass, a layer of polyvinyl, and another layer of glass. What happens if you get a chip or a ding, it's in the outer layer. Now, say in the wintertime, what will happen, if you're parked outside, it's a cold morning, you go out, start your car, crank the defrost, go inside, have your cup of coffee, read the paper, whatever you're doing while your vehicle warms up and defrosts. What will happen is that heat will bake the inside layer, causing the glass to actually expand, while the outside layer is cold and contracting. What that'll do then is just, it'll almost pop, if you will. It'll pop and it'll crack across till it reaches the ends. And unfortunately for the customer, that I've heard that story many times, but that's what happens in the wintertime. Now in the summertime a lot, it's just the opposite. It's a really hot day, and this happens a lot. People will go into a car wash to wash their car, or at home with a garden hose. Most car washes now have warm water, so it doesn't happen as much. But say you're at home with your garden hose, you hit that windshield with that ice cold water, and that windshield is going to immediately contract from the outside, hot on the inside, and then that can cause it to pop as well. So it's important to get those chips fixed. Most insurance companies will waive your deductible. So even if you have a $500 deductible, you're worried, you don't want to make a claim, you don't want to turn anything in, most insurance companies will waive your deductible to have that chip repaired. So it won't cost you anything.
And it's illegal in Wisconsin to drive with a crack in your windshield, isn't it?
Anything over 6 inches.
Anything over 6 inches.
Yeah, if it's over 6 inches, and each municipality is different. I've only heard of one person actually getting a ticket, but I know they can give warnings. But you know, the less attention you can attract that way, and the better. And more importantly, not as much as the illegal aspect of it. It's dangerous. God forbid if you're ever in a serious accident, that can make a crumple zone. If you were to roll your vehicle, that's going to make a crumple zone a softer spot. So you want the windshield to be everything intact, because it's a very important part of the structural integrity of the roof in the event of an accident.
That's great advice. So tell me, Jason, if someone wanted to contact Complete Autoglass to make an appointment, how should they go about doing it?
Yep, they can either call the local Verona number 848-5435, or we have the 888-GLASS41. That's an easy number to remember. Otherwise, we also do have on the internet at our website, CompleteAutoGlass.com. We have free price quotes through the internet as well.
Okay. And if somebody needed a mobile servicing of their vehicle, do they schedule that by appointment, or how does that work?
Yep. In shop, we can schedule exact time frame appointments. On the road, we give like 3 to 4 hour time frames, so we'll come right to your work, right to your home, as long as the weather allows us to be outside. Like I say, we go to lots of people's places of employment or their home. A lot of times someone will just leave the car at home in the driveway, we can go there and do it. As long as the weather allows, we'll get it done. And in some cases, we can catch you the same day. In almost every case, as long as the glass is in stock, we can get you the next day.
All right. Well, thank you very much for being our first interview, Jason.
Yes. Thank you, Carl.
All right.